call this meeting of.
There you go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting of the Governing Council of Alice King Community School to order at 5:43. And I will confirm that we have a quorum. Prior to adopting the agenda, for the record, we have attempted to live stream this evening with the YouTube address listed on the agenda and unfortunately had technical difficulties. So we will attempt to make it work again next month. All right, Fabian, if you would not mind, please, if you could pull up the agenda. Dominic's on. Okay, perfect.
And screen share.
Dominic, can you hear us? Guess we should make sure that's working. You have him muted.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so we have the agenda posted on the screen. May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I'm so moved.
Can I have a second? Thank you, Rhonda. Any further discussion, amendments, corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have an agenda. The next item we need is the minutes from the August 21st meeting.
Screen share this. One moment.
Oh, did we lose everything? We're just gonna write letters that say this doesn't work. Yeah, this is what happened the last time. So if we lose Dominic, we still have quorum. So I guess I'll take minutes. I'll take
I
minutes.
can still hear y'all.
Oh,
I'm still here. Yeah.
You're still here? He's working on it. He's gonna get us there. Look at there. We got there. Very good. All righty. So I'll let Fabian scroll through. We need an N and we need an N in that Gonzalez.
What happens if you touch Zach? It's close.
Okay, we're just gonna be stuck with it. So we need an N in that Gonzalez on page 1. And then I'll let you all read because I need to abstain because I was absent. So, I mean, we can just scroll. Hopefully everyone read them before the meeting. You can go a little faster if you'd like, unless anyone else wants to go slow.
There's one just type up there.
Yeah, right there, action on supply, yeah. All right.
Jennifer's
Who's
please.
that?
I must be missing an
Hey, you
A.
have to wait.
H-A-T-H-A.
There we go. Okay. You have an S, right? Rhonda?
What's that?
That, it's Macias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. May I have a motion to approve the summarized minutes from August 21st?
I move that that the minutes from August 21st be approved as corrected or typed.
Thank you. Do you have a second? Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And Dominic, I'm abstaining because I wasn't present. Any opposed? And Aaron is as well. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries.
Hey,
I
hey,
didn't,
who seconded that? I couldn't hear from the room.
Dave.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
All right, I did not have any public comments in my email. I don't see any public on the screen or in person, so I guess we have no public comments tonight. Any comments from council members? Mhm.
Does it say up there?
Yep, it does.
Oh, cool.
Any comments from council
Am I
members?
still on the board until we get off?
Until the end of this meeting.
So I hope.
Yes. Yes, until the end of this meeting. I have just a brief comments, but anyone else have anything before we go? All right, I will make my comments then. I would like to take this time before we get into all of our business to thank our departing board members, Connie, Shanae, and Jennifer Hathaway. I'm probably going to cry, so just bear with me if I cry because that's where I'm at these days. I just want to extend our extreme gratitude to you both for your years of service to the school, to this community, and to me personally. We appreciate your leadership and your guidance, and you will be very, very sorely missed. So thank you very, very much.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I just feel like, you know, like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life without this school. You know, thank
You can
goodness.
change your mind.
My little grandkids, you know, one is here and one will be here next fall. And, you know, I've been so involved from the day it started. You know, I had a two-year break after being a principal maybe. And it's been a joy. And I just have to say, having experience now being on another kind of board, there is no, and working with schools up in the north with board members that never leave anybody alone, that this is the best board you could ever want to work with. That it doesn't mean that we've always agreed, but we've always come to consensus. We haven't even been negative, you know? And that's amazing, you know, with the size of our board and the issues we've had to face. Such serious issues. So I'm just so grateful to have been a member here, and this school is still the only school that in any way practices what has always been my dream of a school. You know, I mean, it's still got issues like every good school does, but it's worth the effort that we've all put into it. And I know you all will do well. And I told Christy, she'll never hear the end of me because my grandkids are here. She already knows what grade the teacher on next year. So thank you, and thank all of you. And I really, seriously am going to miss. This has kept me alive, I think, because I.
Well, you can always come back if you would like to. We would not turn you away.
Be on a committee?
Or you can stay on a committee.
I want to be on a committee. You just have to tell me which one you need me on.
Okay, well, we're going to do that this evening. So thank you very much.
I'm happy to do that.
Michael, I know I'm not a council member, but can I chime in?
Of course
here?
you may.
Because I was gonna wait and do this during my head administrator report, but since we're here, I also just wanted to express my sincere gratitude for both of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start the tears.
I've been so blessed to work with you both. Ginny, you, the way your brain works with everything logistical and policy and keeping things organized and going, you have kept us efficient. And you have brought so much in terms of making us dig deep to reanalyze things and not allowing us to be comfortable. And that keeps us on a growing edge. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for that. And Connie, I don't even know what to say. You are my boss. And then
Did I hire you?
no, but Shelley hired me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Shelley hired me, but you were still there. And then when Shelley left, you were there, and you've always just been so incredibly supportive, no matter what role you've played during my career. And I'm just so thankful for you personally, and also just for your educational leadership and all the years you've devoted to education. I'm going to sorely miss your expertise and just being able to deal with things that come to the board through that lens of education. Just because I feel like you're a kindred spirit when it comes to being able to keep us centered about this is the reality of what education looks like. And I am very grateful to you for that. So Anna, Danielle, and Laura and I have gifts for you guys. So we're going to pass this on down. That was for Connie. And this one's for Jenny. Thank you both. We will miss you.
I want to make one comment. I was looking at my notes, and July 1st of 2019 is when I came on board, and it was because of you two. Remember we sat in the coffee shop?
That's right.
Yeah. And it's not going to feel the same without you. It won't be the same.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all very, very much. And my other comment is, again, probably going to produce tears, but maybe not. I just want to say how thankful I am for Alice King Community School, for our administration, for our board, for the teachers and the staff and this community. I knew we were blessed, but I didn't know how blessed we were until I wasn't here anymore on a daily basis. And it's been really hard for me not to be part of this community day to day. So thank you all very much for that. I don't know if you had a similar experience when you left.
Absolutely good. And I wanted to, I was here when the board hired you as our head administrator. I was here as you educated my children. As the head administrator, you knew them individually, you really knew them individually. And then we were lucky enough to talk to them on the board, and that's what we were missing as much as anything at that time, was that true educational expertise from the board member. Jenny, I don't think the school has survived COVID without.
Amen.
Our policies and procedures would be nowhere without you. I was the prior chair. And what I did as the chair of that committee was nothing compared to what you did as the chair of that committee, and then to every other committee you touched after that. So you guys are shining examples of what it means to be a board member. Really good.
All right, now I'm done with my tears. Any further comments from council? All right, Miss Christie, you are up. Head administrator report, please.
Okay, did you receive that? I sent it to your Yahoo account. I wasn't sure which. Oh, I guess we only have that one. That's what we sent to us.
Here we go.
Okay.
Just gotta open it.
All right, so I'll just start off by talking about student enrollment. We're holding steady at 385 students. As I've shared with you, we're budgeted for 425 students, so we're about 40 students under enrolled right now. I don't have a lot of hope that we're going to be anywhere near our budgeted amount, our projection by 40 days soon. It's just in a few weeks. I think we're going to be sitting pretty close around 385. So I'm already in conversation with Laura, and in terms of what is that going to look like for us for budget. I don't have anything to bring to you at this point with recommendations or what we're thinking or anything like that, because we're still in flux with a lot of things. But I do anticipate that we're going to see a cut, and then really thinking about how we're going to best handle that. So with that though, I can say that even though we're only at 385 students, it has been a stellar school year so far. It is probably the strongest, most positive, calmest start of a school year I've ever had. It has just been absolutely fantastic. I feel like our staff is very grounded this year. Just having people come in and have so many staff members return, especially since my time as head administrator, it was the first year I didn't have a big, massive change. And I think, we talked about how that staff instability happened a lot with COVID. And I feel like that stability we're starting to finally see it. Finally, year 6, is this, Anna? Year 6? We're starting, and it's such a huge difference to start with. We only had like 6 new staff members this year. It was huge, absolutely huge. So that it has just been the most amazing start to the school year. It's just been super positive.
Did the classroom sizes kind of come out equally under 300 and
No, that they're, you can
can't
see.
We have a lot of middle schoolers.
So you can
Yeah.
see where we're wanting that the number of students per class, that's our goal. Those are enrollment goals, okay? So that's where I want the classes to cap at. Right now, our K1 classes are sitting at about 18 students. 2-3, I think, is about 21. 4-5 is about 20, 21. And then 6, 7, 8, they're like 17 kids. So they're getting tons of individualized instruction, which is fantastic. Yeah, and they're just thriving.
That's cool.
So we just had curriculum night. It was wonderful. It was a really great event. Fabian, were you here at curriculum night?
No, I was out of town.
Oh, okay, all right. And I'm so used to seeing so many parents here, so like so but take my word for it. It was great. So we provided families with the curriculum scope and sequence for their child's grade level so that they would know what their child's going to be learning throughout the entire school year. We gave them the homework policy, the roadmaps to the Common Core State Standards so that they can look to see what are the standards my student is supposed to be mastering this school year for their particular grade level. And then we gave them an information page about the curriculum here at Alice King and provided them with some guiding questions that teachers and families could really dig deep to really talk about. Our goal for the night was for families to be able to walk away knowing that every classroom is a rich learning environment and how best to support their child's learning at home. And I think that was very successful. As far as attendance, I'm still receiving the sign-in sheets from teachers, but we're estimating we only had about 60% of our families attend, which is not as great as we'd like to see, but the families who were here, they loved it. We had one of our families owns a hot dog truck, and so he came and sold hot dogs, and we had a really awesome ice cream truck here, and staff and families were able to hang out outside and visit with one another, so that was really nice. Yeah. And then when we're done with this page, I'll have you pull up another attachment that I sent to you just so I can show you all those guiding questions and that information page I was telling you about for curriculum night.
Okay.
Facilities. We have finally succumbed to the fact that we can't maintain the interior atriums. I don't have a green thumb, and so we finally were able to find a lady who, that's what she does. She works on atriums for professional buildings, and so we have hired her. She's gonna start this Friday by cleaning, removing, bringing in more dirt and all the things, and bringing in more plants and getting it all set up, and then she's gonna maintain it weekly so that hopefully it'll beautify the interior of the building, because that has not been my strength at all. It's good intentions, but
That's not why you were hired.
no.
I choose-
You were hired. I was hired to hire somebody to go do that.
You have a lot of space.
So, but I'm excited about that because I can't wait to walk by that and see some happy plants, because they look really, really synthetic right now. I also have put together the beginning of year short cycle assessment data. We'll pull that up here in just a second. The teachers during their PLC meetings have already conducted an analysis of their beginning of year data for their particular grade level. They had guiding questions that they worked through where they were looking at the domains in both ELA and math according to the data where students need more support and what changes or additions teachers can make to their daily instruction to close the gap. So they're having a lot of data discussions this year. Our goal is to increase student outcomes, and so we're just working on that through analyzing the data, conversations through PLCs. Anna, Danielle, and I have created a whole system for going in and observing teachers. So every teacher, we have a system set up where every teacher will be observed every 2 weeks and receive feedback from us. So we're really, really increasing that as well with the overall goal of making sure that students are making progress. And then I also included dates, upcoming dates for you. At the bottom, we have PD this week, PD again on October 4th, October 8th is School Picture Day, and then October 14th will be fall break.
When is Boo Bash? I have been directed to
We are
ask.
not having it be Boo Bash this year. There's been a
Okay.
shift. It's Fall Festival.
Okay, when is Fall Festival?
November 1st.
Okay, and are they seeking volunteers for
Absolutely.
face painting and other things?
They're looking for lots and lots and lots of volunteers.
Who
It'll
do?
be from 4 to 7 on November 1st. And so then they'll also need help with setup and cleanup as well.
Okay, and who do I need to contact to get Mariela to be able to face paint again this year?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Not sure.
Which teacher who did it?
I can't remember which classroom it was.
We'll-
I think it
we'll
was
help
Miss
coordinate
Sarah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll help coordinate her.
Okay,
Yeah.
and is, are community members allowed to come?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So volunteers, anybody can volunteer. You don't have to have background check. You don't have to have volunteer training. It's a family event, so the guidelines are a little bit different for this event, so people don't have to have all of that other stuff in order to volunteer for the event.
Okay, because I have been being asked daily, Mom, when's Boo Bash? I'm going to Boo Bash. When's Boo Bash?
Yeah.
I'm going to Boo Bash.
Absolutely, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be nice. All of our kids who've been here always love to come back for that event. All right, so if you want to pull up either one of them first, Fabian, it doesn't matter. I can talk about whatever you have handy there.
Sure.
All right, so a little hard to see with our panel ID. in the
Can
middle
I
of the
ask
page.
a quick dumb question
Uh-huh.
technologically? I'm sure you've tried this, but did you try with the mouse to shut that down?
Or have you tried touching that purple circle in the bottom corner?
It's not on his computer.
It's not on the computer
No,
screen?
but on the
Okay.
medium board, touch that purple circle. Oh!
No! Okay, but try it down there on the bottom again. What's that screen share on the what's that share on the bottom? The other purple button?
So normally I would just click that to get to where we want.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Click that then. Oh, now did we mess it up? Okay, you know better than us. I just
I don't
was
know.
trying. I was just trying.
What I can do is I can try unsharing and then go again, or what do you think?
Will it let you drag it off to the side?
No, it's not letting us do anything with that.
Question mark, nothing works.
What if you hit the Chrome button on the bottom? Is that on your screen?
That's on my screen.
Oh.
Okay.
I can try to unshare and then go back in, see what happens.
Dominic, we're pausing for a second for the benefit of the recording. We're trying to fix some technology.
Got it.
We have a lovely square in the middle of our screen that is blocking everything we want to see.
Is it showing up on the Zoom too, Dominic?
It was showing up on the Zoom. I was able to see the data that was being pulled up. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're trying to get it to go away.
No success.
Hey, while we're waiting, curriculum night was awesome. The kids had a blast.
That's right, I forgot you were online back there, Dominic. I didn't get to see you. I'm glad you got to come though.
Yeah, Marcos was like talking about it all week up until that point, and so he's, like I said, I've never seen a kid like it. He's just super motivated to go to school every day. I guess that's probably a testament to how good the teachers are, but yeah, he was very excited. We got to see all of his work, and it was a good time.
Awesome.
No luck.
No
All
thanks.
right.
Okay, well, we tried. Okay,
All right.
sorry, Christy.
That's okay. So beginning of year data, this is based on iReady and iStation at this point for reading. And so the first one that we have up there is reading. It's a little hard to see, so the gist of it is that I did a comparison of this year's beginning of year data to last year's beginning of year data to see how, like, for example, how our kindergartners came in last year compared to our kindergartners this year, and our first graders last year to our first graders this year. Then I also did a comparison to where our kindergartners ended the year last year compared to where they're now first graders and how they came in at the beginning of the year. So it's hard, it's not really apples to apples that way, so it is a little hard to look at true comparisons like that, because you're looking at different standards that kids are being assessed on from one grade level to the next. So as a kindergartner, they're being assessed on different standards than they are as a first grader. So you can't really look at how they exited as a kindergartner and to look at how are they coming in now as a first grader, because they're being assessed on different things. But I wanted to see, just kind of get a sense of, was any of that holding? And I have to say that the trends that we've seen, that we saw at the end of the year, when we talked about the end of the year data, when we were looking at, we had some concerns about first grade and how the first graders kind of dipped in their data. We're seeing that with the second graders right now. The second grade data, the second graders are looking lower, and that matched how our first graders ended last year. We also had a lot of concerns with last year's third graders. Those were the students that were in kindergarten during that year of COVID. And that has been the group that we're really working hard to help make gains. So they all year last year, that group of third graders were not as high in proficiency levels as other grade levels, and we're seeing that true now is that with them coming in as fourth graders as well. So we're definitely really analyzing, looking at the data closely, but the trends are tracking from year to year. So we're really making sure that we're paying attention to those particular grade levels and having conversations about how are we going to close those gaps, which is a lot of the conversation that the teachers had during their PLC meetings. What do we need to do to close these gaps? And then, Fabian, if you want to scroll up to the math.
Can I try something to see if I can get rid of that?
Yes, please.
You did video real quick.
Oh, not this one, sorry.
Let me try that one. Oh,
Settings. Oh, but I can't like see it behind it.
You can't click in any of the number boxes either.
cancel?
Like, is that what you mean?
It's like all frozen.
No, it just canceled what I was trying to get to. Weird, okay, sorry, just kidding, guys, my bad.
What if you refreshed it, like down at the bottom? There was a refresh.
Oh, is
that
there?
one? Yeah. Like next to settings, that one. And then hit refresh. Oh, we got a new number.
I know.
oh, now we got
The
to,
number changed. And you can't enter numbers on your keypad?
and now the governing
Yeah.
council clicky
Yeah.
thingy is gone.
He did something to make it appear.
And-
Oh,
Oh,
thank you, Fabian.
that little X down there,
Looks
what?
like the settings should work. Yeah, down by the refresh, what's the X do?
I can't even click it. That's weird.
Oh,
Oh,
Now we're gonna start over. Maybe it'll go away.
Dominic, are you still there?
it went away.
Yep, still here.
No,
No, we got rid of the thing.
Now we may be in the land of,
Conflict.
it doesn't like us at all now. It says guest over there on that other side, on the bottom. What does that mean? Nothing's happening. Okay, guys, it's me. Y'all didn't have any trouble when I wasn't here.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you
yeah.
did?
I couldn't start until I showed up 25 minutes late.
Yeah.
I needed my computer.
Okay,
Turn it on and off.
well, let's try it.
It got stuck on this.
That was a quick turn on.
This is related to the problem.
I think it's related to the board right now. Yeah.
It was the board the last time. I mean, not last time, but when I was here, we couldn't make the board do what it was supposed to do.
So how about, hard restart?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we're gonna lose you, Dominic.
No,
Well,
give me
maybe
that.
Maybe not. Oh, no, the computer. Never mind, you're on the computer. We're gonna restart the Promethean board, maybe.
If you hold it down, will it do like the computer? And just hold the power button down until, yeah. Or can you unplug it? When all else fails.
I mean,
yeah, I can totally have one.
That's what
Yeah.
my IT department would tell me to do.
Well, I think I always say to do it. That's what we do at my time.
Turn it on and off. I did that, it didn't work. Unplug it.
We're gonna-
I know, I haven't heard from her either. I know she's grumpy by 5:30.
Hello, okay.
I can't imagine it's gonna go nowhere.
This is where we got stuck the last time.
Yeah, so I can get off my computer. I think he's just.
Not responsive.
There it is.
And,
That was weird.
Okay, it's back again.
Let me type that in here.
Wow.
Now hit cancel. Sorry.
Oh, that's a code.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I was thinking, there should go away.
Once he enters it there, it should disappear off the screen.
I didn't listen, I'm so sorry.
Can you do it again?
Okay, it's nicer now. It's the same code, one.
It's the same code.
2, 6,
I think we're stuck with that
Can you
thing.
click on that first one when it comes up?
I would, but my computer won't connect in this building.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
We're okay now.
Oh, wait, what are we doing?
So it's not talking and saying and I see results sharing.
Cool.
So you should be good.
Oh,
Yay!
Good job, Laura.
Yay, go Laura, go Fabian, thank you. Just turn it off.
All right, Rob, man.
All right, math. Math across the state, historically at the school, other districts in the state, math proficiency is typically lower than reading proficiency. We continue to see that here with these numbers. But remember, again, these are the end of year standards that students are being assessed on. So it's really hard to look at beginning of year data because it tells us where kids are right now. But so typically from here, we should see growth. That's the goal, is to increase the percentage of students that are scoring proficient or advanced. So I just wanted to share where we're at right now in terms of that we have data, we're looking at data, we're having data discussions. I can also just say that in terms of other data, like our summative assessment data from the end of last year, that information is still embargoed, and I am not able to share it publicly at this point. So once I'm able
We're
to
not
share it.
public, are we?
Yeah,
Well,
public body, so can't share it with you guys yet in a public meeting. So I just want to let you know though that I have seen data and we're working with some things. We've been able to share like student score reports, individual things like that with the data in terms of what it's going to mean for like our school designation and things like that. I can't share that at this point. So hopefully in the next coming meetings, we'll be able
What's
to
the
have.
embargo for it?
It's so that they create the embargo so that districts and charter schools can look at their raw data to see if there's any errors in what's being excluded from the data calculations, because the state always looks to see what has to be excluded based on the number of students taking a particular test or as far as subgroups of students. And they're looking at some other things that I'm not a statistician that are just way too complicated for my brain. And so they embargo it so that everybody has a chance to review it and appeal any errors before it's
So
published.
they do that every year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is basically looking at where they should be at the end of the year, and that's what we're measuring.
This is looking at the percentage of students who are scoring proficient at this point in the school year.
Based on the end of the year criteria.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they're being measured against the end of the year.
Right.
So
You wouldn't expect them
the
to
fourth
be.
graders, for example, you wouldn't expect them to be super high.
No. Especially because you remember those fourth graders were in 2, 3, second and third grade classes before. We're gonna see typically the second graders and fourth graders typically do score lower at the beginning of the year because they're moving to a whole new grade level band in that multi-age setting. So we typically do see a dip at the beginning of your data at those grade levels. And then it catches all up. And then this one is just, I just brought this back up. This was just last year's data. Again, it was just more for the comparison. It's really hard to see, especially when you can't bring them up side by side. But just to, this is where I was saying I looked at last year's data, like where our kindergartners were at the beginning of the year compared to kindergartners at the beginning of this year. Kindergartners at the end of the year compared to first graders at the beginning of the year. So this is the data set that this is what I was looking at to do that. And if anybody wants me to email that to you so that you can dig into it for yourself, I'm more than happy to do that. You got it, Mr. Academic Committee.
Or lack thereof.
Well, it's really hard because I think how we would like to compile data is not allowable because of FERPA. And so we have to keep it like this because we can't know individual student information. And in order to aggregate any development data, we have to have individual student information, which is a FERPA violation. So that's why I think it's hard, academic committee, because you want to do more, but we can't.
But I can absolutely send both of these to both you and Dominic.
All righty, anything else, Miss Christie?
No.
All righty, let's move on then.
You want to show that curriculum thing?
Oh, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so that was just a flyer. If you go to page 3, this is the guide that we gave everybody as they came in. So just so that they have a sense of what curriculum looks like here. And then on the back of the page, which is page 4 for you, are the questions that we wanted teachers and families to talk about.
Very good. Any further questions for Miss Christie?
Did you get a positive response from the parents about curriculum day?
Yes, the families who are here were very happy.
Anything else? All right, Do we have any reports from Foundation or Equity? No?
No.
Very good. Okay. Laura, you are up. PDs and thank you since Miss Veronica's not here.
Yeah, no problem. So we went over 2 journal entries, we went over the bank register, bank reconciliation, and our assistant principals today got to really delve deep into the reports too and see where it's all coming from. So that was fun, and it all tied out. I've got, can we do the bank account register first? Yeah. There's 2 on there that we probably haven't seen before. Maybe can you scroll down? The one is called Coughlin.
Highlighted
Is it
or?
highlighted or?
No, I don't think so. Here,
Go up just a little bit.
it's line 90.
90, go down.
Mhm.
Oh, it is highlighted.
I
Yep.
thought it had good. So Coughlin, this one is just for educational resources, specifically literacy resources. It's actually called Pebble Go, the one that the teachers are using. A lot of these like little companies have overarching companies with interesting names like that. So that was for one of our grade levels that made an order for literacy resources. And then line 106, it's TPW, which is also a really weird acronym. It doesn't tell you much. That's another resource site. Specifically, it's Super Teacher Worksheets, the website for that one that the teachers wanted access to. So I just wanted to point out those 2 new ones. And up higher, Fabian, the USDA ones, I just highlighted that was our last 2 June reimbursements that came in for our food service program.
What is Generation Genius?
Christy, do you remember?
It's a science website.
Thank you. We have so many.
Do you just buy like a subscription, a school subscription?
Yes.
Yeah. Does anyone else have questions on the bank register?
No, yeah, normal. Okay.
Budget summary, can we go to the budget report, Fabian? And so I've got the 24,000s highlighted again this year, because remember our goal is to spend that to 0 by the end of the year. You'll notice the preschool IDEAB, I've already spent it down. It was a small amount, and it's just easy to spend it and get it done and reimbursed, and we've already been approved for it. The one that I sent out to you when I was like, oh, I had to make a change, I was trying to encumber our food services this year in this report, and so I had to kind of rerun it to capture it on there. And our food services looks kind of gross right now, the negative 46%. Remember, the 21,000 is the federal side. We also have another fund, 21100, which we have bars on tonight to distribute part of that encumbrance. So my goal is next time is to distribute it between the 2 funds.
Are we still being reimbursed the same way from the state for food services where it's several months behind?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay.
I don't think that'll ever change for them. Yeah.
It used to be right on time. Like the next month you would have it. Yeah, I don't know what's happened since COVID.
This year, I mean, I think the state was off even by 3 months. Almost.
Last year, it was a 3-month.
It was
hard. We went a long time with
We don't
negatives.
Lose any money, right? We get
No,
reimbursed
it's
everything we
just-
spend.
a big delay.
Right. It's nothing to worry about as long as you make sure it gets there.
Exactly. I know it's early on in the year, but how would the cost for canteen?
We haven't done our first invoice yet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know how to split it and stuff.
You already did, they'll just haven't, you have nothing to compare to.
They haven't specified.
I'll send you an analysis.
Oh, thank you. I love that. Thank you.
All right. Any questions on the budget report? Laura, I assume you were done.
Yes.
Okay.
We have 3 bars that you said there.
Yep. So you can pick whichever bar you want, but I need to get a
I
motion.
move we approve the budget report for whatever month this is. September.
Period ending August 31st. Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. All right, which one do you want to start with?
with 11. Yeah, let's go in order with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me do that.
That one's 14.
There's one.
Yeah, 11, 12, and 14.
13 was avoided, that's why there's a skip. I made a mistake. Okay, so bar 0011/D, this is for the state side of the food services. This was more just because I over budgeted thinking we would get more at the end of the year that we didn't receive, and so I'm having to decrease it down because we don't have that amount in there that we received at year end.
So it's just a reconciliation.
Yeah.
Sounds like a few people got lunch than expected.
Well, that, and we didn't have all the data by this point when I did the budget units. We're like 3 months behind in terms of what we're receiving, that it was kind of hard to compare. And we saw dips throughout the year, like we even saw less participation during testing week, which was really interesting. We were like, okay, so.
Is it middle school that's lower in participation or both?
I'd say it was across the board. I feel like Martin Middle School participates more. I feel like than some of the other grade levels. 4 or 5 definitely. They're one of the highest this year. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if our provider last year impacted the usage too, because I know my double lunch son did not like the food from here last year.
And I think it did.
And he would have a packed lunch and eat the lunch at school, and he did not eat the lunch at school last year.
The kids are loving the lunch.
I've heard, yes.
We're literally seeing the numbers just trickle up.
We had,
Yeah.
out of 385 kids, we had 288 eat lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they like it. They're
And
not
they- yeah.
throwing away their entire tray like they did.
late last year, yeah. And like James, I just told him not to get one because he wasn't gonna eat it. So don't get it because you don't like it. So,
That's what I need to come here for.
Chef salad.
okay, any further comments, questions, concerns about bar ending in 001D? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Dominic, put Dave down for that one. He kind of beat Aaron a little.
Got it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. All right, bar 0012I, we'd like increases.
So this is an STG increase, and it's because when we made our budget, the initial value was about $6,442. They revised it at the end of June and have now sent out these increases because it went up to $553. It's about $111 increase per kiddo. So that's our bar for it, that increase because the unit value changed on it.
So this is the unit value increase?
That'll cover some of
This
the
one?
lack of students.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I missed on that message.
Just get on the next one.
Does that mean it's up on $37,000?
Okay, the next one now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's it. 0015, definitely.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Can use that.
So
for-
we're actually changing the bar number right now to
This is like our.
Rhonda, unfortunately, I don't think we can because, oh no, we don't have numbers on the agenda.
No.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so instead of the 0012-I, it's gonna be 0015-I.
Okay, Dominic, this bar is gonna be 0015-I
Okay.
because they need to fix something. real quick.
Yeah, it's a revenue, student, and they don't let you change it up. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So the total amount we're increasing is 107,205.44?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And essentially, when I was looking at where to put it, I opened up our account balance report and I looked at areas that were a little bit lower that we might want to increase it in. Something to keep in mind though, like Christy said with our enrollment, we're gonna have a decrease at some point. So this is yay now, but just, I don't know. keep
But the
that in
unit
mind.
value will make that decrease a little less.
Right.
Yes.
Because we get our regular unit value because it's standard even though everything was wrong, right? Very good. They put it back to normal.
I didn't understand that question.
Okay, so when we had to deal with all the calendar and the different budgets and all of that,
Right.
our unit value was going to decrease based on which calendar we
Oh,
picked.
okay.
Not our unit value,
Okay.
our overall.
Okay, our overall
SEG.
SEG was gonna decrease, but now, since the injunction happened and we got to go back to our status quo, it's our normal status quo. We don't have any of the weirdness from last year, correct? That we were concerned about. Thank you. That's what I meant.
I remember
I
that.
followed you.
I know you followed me, but Dave didn't, so I had to make sure we all
Maybe a
understood.
little slower.
Oh, Chrissy and I talk all the time too, so. She speaks Māori. Okay.
Might I
Do we need
suggest
to-
we do 14 first?
That's what I think we should do too. So we've looked at what's gonna be 15, but I think we should do 14. So thank you, Karen. Okay. So bar 14-D is what we're gonna be on right now. And this is a decrease of, on food services?
Yes, so the state determines how much allocation we get in a year, and so when I'm estimating it back during budget season, I don't have that number. I got it about, 2 weeks ago, I think they sent it out, and so now I'm decreasing it just slightly. I was pretty close. I was proud of myself. I was like, okay, but I was a little above by $5,539, so I need to decrease it by that amount, just so it matches the allocation they want us to have for this year.
And what's the implication of decreasing it?
Nothing, it's just matching the budget to what they want us to, yeah. It's their estimate, right?
Yeah.
I move we accept this bar.
Thank you, Dave.
I'll second, Rhonda.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go back to 0015. Did you get what you needed in your computer? Okay, but none of the numbers are changing.
No, I'm.
Just you're changing a code, right?
Yeah, it's that, can you pull it up again?
That's 12 right now.
I can show you exactly. Scroll up. It's this one. So instead of 11111, I have to change it to a 4,000 code.
Oh, no.
Hey, and what was the one-liner for why we had to change the number? What was the reason for that? I missed that part.
An error.
An error, code error on 12.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one that's in there indicates it's a cash carryover. The 4,000 would show that it's a new budgeted amount.
Okay.
So Dominic, when you're looking on the screen, that between the box that says go through only and the first one that says fund
Okay.
is where the change needs to get made. But none of the numbers in the funds or the funds are changing, right? Yeah, okay. So with that explanation, I will make a motion to approve bar ending in 015I. Okay,
Second that.
Fabian seconded. Dominic,
Got it.
any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye, any opposed? Very good. Motion carries. Any more bars?
No.
Very good. All right. So then we are on to Miss Pat.
Okay, at our last meeting on the 21st of August, I reminded everyone to sign up for Canvas. Everyone who hasn't, to get rolling on their 5 credits. I personally did it on the 6th, and it was real simple. So, if you all will get to it, you're not going to run into any glitches or anything, and you'll get an email back saying that you've been invited to participate. So I encourage you to do it. And
So that's the change, 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of 8.
After we leave.
The glitches only occur on the last day before the due
Well, and that's what makes me crazy. is
Yeah.
I got mine done.
Yeah, so you would have been-
Not done,
you'd have been
that's what we
okay
got,
this
but-
Yeah.
Did you get yours at a good?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And it worked every year.
Uh-huh. It did, just fine. And I emailed Missy and said, problem Houston, and she said, too bad. Yep.
So that's what we're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
We're glad we heard that.
Yeah, well, and apparently, according to Missy, there are lots of schools whose board members, none of them ever take them, and
Yeah.
nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
Because I panicked about what the bad thing was gonna happen.
I'm
I did
glad it
too.
was on.
And we've been so vigilant.
Yeah. Well, no, so we're all just like, oh, we're gonna take them all and then I'll start back up. And then Missy's like, no, you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, and she was like, no, there's nothing you can do. You just have to go forward. Get yours done this year. I'm like, can I just take them today?
No,
No.
that's what I asked her, are they ready right now?
There's no way to get back into it once that deadline goes.
Ridiculous, but
Yeah,
here we
shut
are.
it off a day early this time.
I know. Well, somebody did it
Yeah.
accidentally.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
All righty. Miss Jenny, you are up for the last time. Policy committee report.
Via email us to review sections 8 through 12 of the policy manual, and that completed the review of the policy manual for 2024. So the policy manual has been reviewed this year. The bylaws were reviewed last year, so now the next policy chair can start again with the bylaws and just, go through it quarterly, divide each one up by quarter, so that you're reviewing it every 2 years.
Yep.
Okay, we had 4 first readings and 3 second readings, if I remember correctly. The first reading is section 8A2. We would like to strike the whole section. We felt it was just not exactly policy, it was aspirations. And so we're going to keep that AKCS is committed to soundly educating the whole child and thus making all children well prepared to pursue their life goals, as well as be contributing members of our society whose actions reflect sound character and ethical behavior. But then we thought we would strike, students shall understand that high expectations are a focal point of what we do. It is expected that all students participate and perform in the best of their abilities. In order to flourish in a strong intellectual, social, emotional, and physical environment, students need to be persistent and embrace challenges. Motivation and desires of lifelong learning shall be continually emphasized. Integrity and mutual respect shall be consistently displayed when dealing with others. It is extremely important to learn good study skills at an early age, and success can be achieved in many different ways. Those seem like they're not policy.
It seems like those should be just transferred over to the student family
Yeah.
handbook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I agree that they are not policy.
They're good.
They're great.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think they belong in the policy manual.
Yeah.
So that is our first one, in 8A2, to strike the whole section. So can I have a motion to approve section 8A2 as the first reading?
8A2, so moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. So section 8C deals with snow days, and Ms. Christie or the rest of the administration, if you have thoughts on this one, please share them. But we thought the easiest way to reconcile this was to first strike the word in the first sentence and schedule that. So generally, AKCS shall follow the district snow day determinations, period. And then, however, AKCS may call snow day when necessary, even if the district has not. And then
District is defined as APS.
Huh?
The district is APS.
And we
I
can
have
do
to
that?
double check. We can call our own snow day, yes. We've always.
Well, because that's why I'm struggling with the word
You know,
district.
That was there before, I can add AP.
Well, because I don't know if district's defined throughout.
I don't have my full policy pulled up.
Yeah, it's okay. I printed it all out and have it sitting on my desk with all my other things I was gonna bring.
I would go back to saying even the APS because.
Because we're technically the
in some
district.
places, we're a district.
Yeah, we're technically our own district,
Right, so I think that might be confusing.
but if we use it throughout, then we should leave it if it's defined. I mean, it's capitalized, so that would lead me to believe it's a defined term somewhere.
Okay, let me just, I'm checking real quick what we have defined at the beginning. Definition. Oh, district shall mean Albuquerque Public. Schools.
Okay, and I'm fine with that. I figured.
Both places exempt, we're good.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take that back out. On my first. Okay, so I'd like to strike and schedule, and then I'd like to add, the head administrator will determine if a snow day will be made up in person or through asynchronous learning.
I think that leaves us with a lot of flexibility depending on what's
Like if you
happening.
get 6, days of snow days, you're probably gonna need to do some asynchronous learning. And if it's just one off here and there, you get to decide. And so that's.
Well, it's gonna be based on state statute and in terms of how many days, whatever's enrolled in
Yeah.
statute is what we're allowed to do, and it changes from year to year, so this keeps us from having to change the policy to match it.
That's what I was.
And then I had a question in terms of the policy. Do we say here, I believe we say in the handbook, but do we say here that we're not doing asynchronous learning? Like they get snow days?
Because that would be in the handbook. It's not actually in the handbook that I saw.
Right, no.
But
We,
yeah, I wanted that to totally be up on there.
governing council,
We
we
decided.
decided to keep it as in person, and so that is what we are doing. AKCS has decided to do asynchronous days. So, but as a council, it was decided to do, cancel school, make up the hours.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. We decided that, but is it written down anywhere,
It would be in minutes.
other than in minutes?
I would suggest it goes in the handbook.
Yeah, I think we should put it in the handbook.
Okay.
That, and just a sentence that says, snow days will be not school days.
In general, but I think it needs to be something like this.
But APS says
Right,
asynchronous.
I think it just needs to be changed. is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Do we ever release the handbook more than once a year?
It's,
on the website.
every time we make changes, it's just, it's re-uploaded to the website, so it's in
I mean, I think most of our parents, maybe the new ones don't know, but most of our parents know we decided.
And I think you've been pretty good in the past about pre-snow days, when maybe it's gonna be anticipated that we might have a snow day coming up, you like state the policy, and like.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone knows what's going on, and I think that's been really effective.
I do think that we should not be specific about a particular radio station
Okay,
in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I don't even know how to do that through KKOB.
Okay.
I mean, luckily I've only had to deal with this a handful, not even a handful of times. But I usually go through KOAT and KOB because that's who I have logins for.
Okay.
It's so TV stations, but.
Should we just take radio out? Should we say
Through radio?
TV
No.
or electronic? Yeah, I mean, I
feel
think
like most.
through network
We're gonna do it
TV,
through TV?
then let's just take,
notified through network TV.
yeah,
Don't say
Just don't say all three.
There's also
There's
sending
more
emails
than.
to the parents.
yeah, and, or the school electronic communication system, that's email.
So, from notify and keep the word through, and then delete from KKOB all the way through the 3 hyphen
Should,
to network TV.
Yes.
there you go.
You have the ability to do the website.
Yes.
Okay. So, with those changes, section 3 and 4 remain the same. And that's just parents can bring them late due to their weather conditions, like East Mountain School people, or we can close the school early. And I think I also wanted to change, no, that's it.
Okay.
So can I have a motion to accept section 8C? And I know it says A there, that's just gonna like copy it over. It's
Formatted wrong.
A, and because it's not the same thing. And when I was trying to change it, it's like this stuff, and so it is section 8C.
And make a motion to approve the first reading of section 8C. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, section 8D2. This is religious expression, And the committee felt that when we acknowledge that students can be excused for holiday events, they should probably also get to be excused from musical programming that includes religious material. So we just sort of copied the end of section 1 and put it at the end of section 2. Any questions on that?
Is there a reason why you use should versus shall? Seems more discretionary with should.
Right, we have should up here and should here. So we want shall.
Acknowledge, okay, wait, hang on, teachers and administrators.
It's a legal thing.
Yeah, I think it needs to be will. I think all of them need to be will or shall, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it
Shall.
sounds like the idea is we don't want to force students to do something they don't want to, and we want, and that's a policy of the governing council, so we want our teachers following that policy of the governing council, so I think we should make it shall, not give additional discretion
Sure.
to the teacher.
Yeah,
I'm totally on board with that.
yeah, let's change.
Okay.
it to shall.
So here's my problem. I did not notice changing section 1. So we'll have to put section 1 on our one for next time. I just included it as reference. I only included section 2 of this section.
I am not following what you're
Okay,
saying,
so, and
I'm
it also
sorry.
says should, right where he has his cursor,
Yeah.
right there, it used to say should, and he
Yeah.
just changed it to shall. But I didn't notice section D1, I only noticed section D2, where I made my change. I wasn't making a change in section 1. So
Oh,
You'll just, we'll
okay,
just have to.
I'm sorry, I
put that
didn't
as the
choose
first
for
reading
Yeah,
next
so we're
time.
doing that.
And it's all good, I made a note. We'll
And we'll
make it
do
as
our
a first
first
reading for
reading.
next time. But, just letting you know that we are only voting on the additional sentence that is in red, and we have changed the word should to shall in that sentence.
Dominic, did you get all of that?
Yeah, so if I understand, there's 8D1 changes that need to be made, but we're going to save those for next time, and we'll only be voting on 8D2.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure you could hear.
Yep, I've got it recorded.
Awesome. Okay, with that, I will make a motion to, I'm sorry, this is one next meeting. Approve section 8D2, first reading. Aaron seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good, motion
All right.
carries.
This one, section 8F. I'm not sure there actually needs to be any changes.
Yeah, I'm reading it now. I'm just seeing your email, so I apologize.
It's a little unclear in section, so section 4 deals with, authorized, who's an authorized vehicle. And then section 5 says no student shall be transported in an unauthorized vehicle. The school is responsible only for students who travel in authorized vehicles going to and from school approved events. And my problem is when parents, like if I'm going on a field trip and I want to drive my child to and from that field trip,
Then you're an authorized vehicle because you've been approved.
but I'm not approved.
No.
Okay.
And this might be something that needs more discussion.
I think this is gonna be a little bigger discussion because of insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I will just, because of insurance.
Insurance, yep.
So I will just
It's a-
liability say that this needs to be on the radar of the policy committee going forward, that there is still work to do on this one
Which
section.
section is it?
This is 8F.
8F,
Field
okay.
trips.
Well, and I wonder, yeah, I mean, from a policy perspective, I mean, I agree that we need to work on it some more, but
Yeah.
from a policy perspective, I think as policy is stated correctly, I think we go into the details about field trips in the handbook.
So my issue
So I
here
don't know.
is, we have always, let me say, I have never permitted families or children, students to, go to a field trip in parents' vehicles. I feel like the liability is huge over that. For many, many reasons. I also think that, I don't even know what our insurance company has to say about that right now, honestly, in terms of the liability. So it's always been, you can go city bus, we can contract with a bus company and kids go on a bus. It keeps it clean because then it falls under then that bus company or the city of
Well, then I
Albuquerque would
think-
be at that point.
Right.
As
My concern as someone that's been on field trip is that students sometimes at the end of the field trip are released to their parents to go home.
yes.
And so that seems like
And
that's
that's
not
why we
okay
make, that's
with
why
this
we
current
make
policy.
parents sign their kids out. I have teachers take the paperwork from the office where they have to physically sign their child out. And so then they're no longer under the purview of
Right,
the
and
school
so
or
if
the
you think
parent's
it's fine-
responsibility, and then that parent can't take other kids.
If you think it's fine as is, then that's fine. It was just, for me, there was that disconnect and I was not understanding how this child was being signed out of the.
So
I think we
maybe-
need a bigger
maybe-
discussion about not having authorized vehicles and saying
Well, I
kids
was-
can be transported via
I think you
bus.
could say authorized vehicles. I mean, we could make it really simple and just put in another number that says, parents will not transport their children to field trips. May transport them home if appropriately signed out.
Yeah, or even broader, all students will be transported by the
Mhm.
school, whatever, there's some language.
Yeah,
And, and I think it just as a point, not to be written down, but for us to understand, as the kind of school we are, it's really difficult to have some kids get to ride with parents and other kids don't. There are some kids that never go anywhere on a bus, and there's a learning opportunity. And the teachers who put together activities and thoughtful things to do, like safe and finds and all those things, and hunting for things, I think it's a disadvantage for some kids, and it separates kids depending upon accessibility and parents' involvement and things like that. So it's just a way of if a parent says something, it fits the philosophy of the school.
Right, and there are extenuating circumstances where maybe
Oh,
a
sure.
parent does need to transport their student and need that field trip later for whatever reason, but then the understanding is that then when they arrive at the field trip, they're signed in and now are the school's responsibility instead of the parent's responsibility, and if the parent has to, it picks them up, or as if they're a chaperone and then they leave from the field trip, the parent signs them out, so they're the parent's responsibility now and not the school's responsibility.
Are the kids who are disabled, can parents take them, or is there accommodation for a bus?
So that's all done through the individual student's IEP, but we never want to not allow a student with a disability to attend a field trip, and attend on a bus, and be able to ride the bus with the rest of the students unless there's something very specific in that individual student's IEP.
And the IEP would be how it would be designated to the teacher and to the parent.
Which could be taken care of by having the parent take the kid there later, not bring them into school.
Right, yeah, we just have to be really, we just gotta be careful that we're always following IDEA in that situation.
Mhm.
So I feel like we'll send this back to the committee for consultation with you guys to massage.
Yep.
But I did want to, this was a section that we identified as perhaps needing some work, but we weren't quite sure how to change it. We'll move that to next one. Okay, so then we have 3 second readings. The first one, I know the title says 4A3, that's because we're striking 4A3. I'll just tell you, 4A3 said that the head administrator was going to provide an organizational chart to the governing council, and we decided that was not necessary.
No.
That was not part of the administrative structure that needed to be. So we're voting to strike section 3 as the second reading and leave sections 1 and 2 as
Okay.
presented.
So we're approving
The
a
removal
first
section.
reading, for first reading, we're approving section.
No, this is now a second reading. We're
Oh,
done with
second?
our-
Oh,
Yeah, we're done
very
with our
good.
first reading.
Okay, sorry.
On to second reading. Is that we're approving the removal of section 4A3.
Okay. I make a motion,
Yeah, we went through it last
I make a
time.
motion to approve the second reading of
That's what,
section 4, which includes the removal of section 4A3.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the next one, we removed the word members because we already have the word council and they mean the same thing in this document. So we're just gonna have it say develops, that part of the community relation duties are to develop and promote a professional relationship with the council, school personnel, students, and community. And these are part of the head administrative duties in general. So this is section 4B41.
Make a motion to approve the second reading of section 4B41.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and finally, as a second reading in section 4.6, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's why you read them.
We took out the subsection of section 4 that dealt with bullying because it kind of moves based on how the family handbook things come and go, but it's always in section 4. So we're just going to say section 4. So we remove the .22 after section 4.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the second reading of section 6F as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is that it?
That's all I have.
Woo-hoo.
Thanks.
All right. I just lost my agenda somehow.
Have it up here.
What do we have next, Fabian, please?
Academic year.
I feel like we just did that in the head administrator report. So I don't know if Dave has other things to share, but.
Nope. All righty. Yay, we're gonna move on then. Okay, old business. We don't really have a discussion on charter renewal this evening unless anyone has anything to add, but I'm leaving it on the agenda so that we don't drop it off for a little while. Okay,
I don't have anything to add, I mean, other than I did follow up with, Missy Brown and also Joseph Escobedo. So we're definitely in charter renewal next year.
so we do not have to submit any applications in 2024. Very good. Thank you.
But it is a good thing for us to keep on, especially because
Yes, and the changing things. So it's gonna stay on and we can just gloss over it if we need to, but that way if something rises, we can discuss it. Okay, action on additional check signers. I don't know that we put this in the right order because I think we need to figure out additional check signers after we figure out officers. Don't you think we need to do that? I just realized that.
Motion to table this to after new business section C.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay, we will move B to after C. All right, so this is our Open Meetings Act resolution, guys. It's the same resolution. All I changed, it's our standard Open Meetings Act resolution, which we are required to do under the Open Meetings Act and which directs how we notice our meetings and how we can meet and what our timeframes are. Did not change anything from what we have historically done. All I did was change the dates to the 2024-5 school year, change the date of today's meeting to be this year, and the date at the bottom. But so for regular meetings, we changed it. Oh, wait. We did change one thing. We changed in the substance to the third Wednesday of every month, not the second anymore. That was the only substantive change so that we can accommodate my crazy.
Can I open a tiny can of worms?
Yeah,
Do we have to notice that we live stream it?
in the open meetings resolution, no,
Okay.
we do not. That's the website thing that we're gonna talk about.
I think up there you've got an at and an on September 18th, one of those ones. has-
Well, via
On
Zoom
September 18th at 5:30 p.m. Oh, you're right.
on, yep, so go ahead and if you'll make that change, if you can, on, at needs to go. Thank you, I didn't catch it when we worked on it.
Might be a PDF.
No, that's okay, I can fix it, because I'm the one who signs it, I think, anyways,
I'll
so,
fix it right now.
okay. All right, and then other than that third Wednesday, and you guys voted on that last meeting for our meeting schedule for the year. So I did change that, but other than that, nothing has changed. We're gonna post our agenda 72 hours before on the building. How do we call special meetings, etc. That is our Open Meetings Act resolution. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, and I will make a motion to adopt the 2024-2025 Open Meetings Act resolution.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I was an aye too, just didn't talk fast enough. Okay. All right, so action on renewal for governing council members Veronica Gonzalez and Dave Anderson. Veronica is not here, but we have confirmed that she wants to continue serving on the board. Mr. Anderson, I assume you also want to continue serving on the board?
If you don't vote me off the island.
Well, we're not gonna vote you off the island.
The first episode.
I suppose.
Okay, very good. We are not voting you off the island.
You might, you never know.
So I will make a motion to renew the terms for governing council members Veronica Gonzalez and Dave Anderson.
Was that a 3-year term?
4-year term.
4?
Mhm.
I haven't been here for 4 years.
You started in 2020.
You have, because you were here when I was leaving.
Yeah.
You started in 2020.
Yeah.
That's when you
We have the chart.
I do have the.
Our organizational guru made the chart
Okay.
so that I have data. There is a chart. Pat and I both seen it when she was teaching us how to do our jobs. We have a motion on the table that has been properly seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none.
Who seconded that?
Aaron seconded, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have you started 11/11/2020?
None.
So.
So motion carries. Thank you, Dave and Veronica, for continuing to serve with us. We appreciate you. All right, officer elections. Here we go. So we have president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. I'm gonna start with the low-hanging fruit because that one's easy. Miss Veronica Gonzalez has volunteered to continue to serve as our treasurer, so I will nominate her and make a motion to approve her as council treasurer.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations, Veronica. All right, I'm gonna go backwards just because it's easier. Or I can go forwards, it doesn't matter. Dominic, I have not had an opportunity to talk to you. I don't know what your feelings are, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but unfortunately I have to, and I apologize for not getting to you before tonight. Do you want to continue to serve as secretary, or do we need to see if somebody else will do so?
I am perfectly okay continuing to serve as secretary, although Christy probably wishes I got these turned in a little bit sooner than I do. But yeah, I think I do enjoy doing it, and I'm fine continuing doing it.
All right, thank you.
We'll work out a system, Dominic, don't worry.
We will all work out our systems to be better. So thank you, Dominic. Is there anyone else who is interested, or if anyone else would like to nominate anyone? Seeing none, I will make a motion to nominate and elect Dominic Munoz as Secretary of the Council.
Second.
Aaron seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, congratulations, Dominic, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else besides Ms. Pat interested in being vice president? All right, Ms. Pat has also graciously agreed to continue to serve, and she and I are going to learn together, and she's going to help take over some of Jenny's administrative roles to help support the president. So is there anyone else who is, we already asked that, so I will make a motion to nominate and elect Patricia Barger as the Vice President of the Governing Council.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations, Kat. Thank you very much for agreeing to assist with everything. And I assume that no one is interested in my job. I am not super enthusiastic about continuing in my job. I want to stay on the board, but I too will, if you all will elect me and not vote me off the island, remain in my position as president if someone would be so kind as to nominate me.
I would like to nominate Ms. Marla Sasevich as our president for another 2-year term.
I'll second.
Who wants it? I don't care. Let's put Rhonda. Thank you all very much. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And any opposed? My family, but they don't count. All right, any abstentions? None, motion carries. Okay.
Now we have to go back to the one we pushed after that, right?
Yes, check signers. Okay, so I cannot be a check signer because I have to be on the audit committee. So that takes me out of check signing. Presently, we have Dominic and Jenny. We need to have 2, and Jenny is obviously not going to continue to stay, so we need another check signer. My understanding, and I know I'm jumping a little bit around here, is that Rhonda is, are you coming on audit with me or finance? I can't remember. Neither? Okay.
No, yeah, I'm skipping those just so I can
Continue to help her. Okay, very good. So then, I don't know if who has an interest, who's here. It works out well, you know, at least in our experience, when I was a check signer, when Jenny was president, to have a parent be a check signer because we're here. And so it makes it easy to gather everything up and, you know, send a text or an email, say, I have checks, will you stop by the office? So that's one thing, but with Rhonda's, you know, availability and her, you know, being here and in and out, you know, I don't have real strong feelings about that. If someone wants to volunteer, I will gladly take a volunteer.
I'd be happy to do it.
Very good, Fabian. So I will make a motion to have Fabian be a authorized check signer, and he will complete with Laura all the paperwork that he needs to complete for that to happen and for Jenny to come on.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? No. Thank you, Fabian, for volunteering, but it does work out really easy if you're a parent because you're around.
Sure, down the road.
Yeah, that was also part of mine because I work right there at Uptown. I'm at 6100 Uptown, so without the construction, it takes me 2 minutes. So even if Christy needed an emergency during the day, I could get here.
Yeah, so is there any benefit in having a third one? Rhonda was willing to do it too? Just
I
like
think
that?
two
I think
is good and it follows our policies and our practices. So I think we're good with 2. We just need to have a backup. I don't think we need to have a third.
I was the only one until I went on vacation for 5 weeks.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, we did that last year before you went on your vacation to get Dominic and the second signer, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave. All right, are we on committee assignments now?
Yeah, Damien, I just sent you a document, I'm sorry, I didn't send it to you earlier. It's sort of the current-ish committee assignments with some suggestions.
Did we write down, did you put them in there?
I
Because
did,
my notes are sitting on my desk with
No,
all
I
my
put
other
them
papers.
in
Okay.
here for suggestions.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you have your list?
so,
The notes that we took.
did it go through?
Or refresh the email. One second. I notice sometimes I gotta do it here too.
Yeah, while he's doing that, I was just looking at my notes from the meeting that we had. Veronica and Dave, you came up for renewal this year. I want to remind Aaron and Dominic that they come up next year. Okay?
Thank you. Hey, Christy, just a quick question. I haven't heard from you all as far as like checks. It's been pretty silent the last 2 weeks. You're not waiting on me for any of those, are you?
No, I've been doing it.
Oh, good. I knew something was up.
Hi, Jenny got lots of gifts tonight because we have maximized our Jenny time to its fullest.
Good. That's good to hear.
Pat and I have met with Jenny twice to try to figure out how we do this without her, and we've all been relying on her. Yeah, Jenny, that was Veronica. Jenny has been a trooper, letting us utilize her skills and abilities up till the last possible second.
So I would go to the other tab at the bottom. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like to delete
Please.
this? Okay. We need somebody interested in joining Veronica on the finance committee, unless, I guess we need another member. So we need somebody interested in joining Veronica on the finance committee.
And I cannot be on the finance committee because I have to be on audit committee.
And I just want to point out that it is really important that we have another GC member on finance committee, because otherwise we get into, if Veronica can't be there, we get into a situation where we don't have an external person reviewing things. And I think that puts Laura and I in a position that I'm just not super comfortable with.
And
Should we find out the auditors if it's a conflict of interest if I'm not getting paid?
since you're not getting paid, I feel like it is not a conflict of interest, because you can't get paid and be on the board.
Yeah.
So I think you could be on the finance committee, but I do think we should probably check. So to make sure that we're not, because if you're giving her guidance ad hoc as a board member, you're kind of checking your own work, but at the same time, you're a board member giving guidance and your duties are different. So I feel like it could go either way, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if she's not getting paid, I mean, as a board member, to give guidance, to lend your expertise to the institution is kind of one of your roles as a board member.
Exactly.
And if the auditor's clear, then it would make more sense to have one finance committee than somebody that understands school finance as well as she does.
Are we?
So we could, table it for a month.
Yeah.
You guys
Are
can
we?
come back to it.
Yeah. Are we?
And actually, you don't really have to do anything voting wise,
Yeah.
because Veronica as chair gets to appoint committee members.
Mhm.
So it's not this is mostly
It's just discussion.
it's mostly discussion. If you want to create a new committee, then usually we have some sort of action item on that.
Yeah.
But you will have
this
to
is
name a
just
committee
discussion.
chair for strategic planning and policy.
Yeah.
But for this one, just somebody.
I have a question I want to go back to. Are we making, Aaron, along both of our thought processes, are we making a bigger deal out of it by asking, or should we just go with what we think is right?
What do you do for her?
I don't do any of the work. So
She
really,
answers questions.
sends me some things, I look at them, give her advice on what she could, or, whether it's great, she needs to change some things. That's about it.
But it's mostly on her submissions, right? It's not on the day-to-day
Yeah. and so
entries
the
or
audit
check
thing-
writing or the things that we look for controls.
And there's no place where it says Rhonda in relationship to her, so is there? It's just a deal between you two.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally just helping out. You're not
Yeah.
getting paid for it. It's on her business manager license, right?
She's just support.
Right.
Yeah.
We also will reach out to her from time to time if there's a human resources something that'll come up, and we'll say like, hey, have you ever come across this? Or do you have something, like a form letter for this situation, or, things like that.
And that's important, and the reason it is because everybody in the world in finance in the schools knows Rhonda. So it just makes sense if they, if her name is on even the finance committee, she's on the board, so that's okay. But,
And there's never, I don't think there's ever a problem asking a board member, hey, given your experience in this industry, what have you seen done? It's not what should I do, what do I have to do, but what have you seen done? What have you seen work well at your schools? And I think she can answer that question anytime, any day. It's the same as Christie will from time to time.
Yeah.
What happens in the legal world?
And I guess I'll put the button on, Rhonda, you know, what's your comfort level? Which would you prefer? If you would prefer to ask, I'm happy with that. If you,
I'm actually fine with the finance committee. I don't think I do anything that would actually be a conflict.
I don't think you do either. I think we are well above board on this, given your experience, and I don't feel like it's something that's questionable. So,
Okay, I'll pencil her in.
yes, pencil her in, because I think that would be great. And, you
And
know,
Veronica can make changes as needed as chair. So
Yeah.
I don't- Okay, so the executive committee is set by officer positions. Pat has been doing a great job at nominating and council professional development.
You need any help?
She wants. I would suggest everybody start thinking about recruiting people.
I think everybody's up.
But
Dave,
I'm
are
not
you
sure that
volunteering
it's
to go on that committee with Kat?
You
She
know,
wants another person.
I think everybody needs to keep their eyes and ears open for candidates, but when we get down to the nitty gritty of interviewing and everything, it would be nice to have.
It is nice to have a second.
I will volunteer.
Great.
Thank you, Dave.
You're gonna need an
And
education person.
so everyone knows,
Because it isn't Connie.
Fabian is doing this one.
Yeah.
I'm editing the one that's in the Dropbox, so
Okay.
these are being
We've talked
recorded.
about that for the last couple of months.
Our audit committee is staying the same. We might think about trying to find an additional outside person, parent. I don't know how much longer Oscar's kids will be at the school, or if they're
2
still in
years,
school.
this year and next year.
So it might be time to start thinking about somebody. It's a pretty easy position.
Yeah, that's a,
Oh, Connie could now do that.
do you want to do that, Connie? We'll
Sure.
put you on the audit committee. That would be great.
Great.
She could be the parent member, is that what you're saying?
Does it have to be?
It doesn't have to be a parent,
You have to have one parent on the audit committee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but we can still add Connie, and then we'll have to find another parent.
Well, it has to be one finance person and one parent.
Okay, so we got Jason as our finance.
Oh, he's on there.
Yeah, he's our chair. He's the chair of the audit committee.
All right, so we'll leave Oscar there
No,
for now,
grandparent doesn't count, unless you have guardian.
but we should think about finding another parent.
All right, so policy, Fabian, I understand you,
So, yes,
are
these are my
your
suggestions.
suggestions? Okay. So are you interested, which one, I mean, I don't care, anybody raise your hands, but we need a chairperson for policy and we need a chairperson for strategic planning. So, and they can be the same person or they can be different
I have
people.
written documents on what you need to do with the chairperson.
And we're putting me on policy. I'm not in there, but I'm more than happy to help. And Jenny gave me all the rundowns and Pat, she gave us all the instructions and she's got us we know where to find the documents and she has got us set up so beautifully that, apart from what we had to talk about tonight, we shouldn't have to really start thinking about policy until, a little bit further down the road this year, before the beginning of the year, to start over, with the bylaws. So for the next several months, it's not gonna be a heavy lift. And then Jenny did so much work that I think we can get.
The only heavy lifting is when the legislature says, you gotta make a new policy.
Yeah,
and then it's
or,
like,
yeah, so you gotta make a new policy or
Those can be-
we change the
Or
law on
something comes
X.
up,
Yeah.
and we need a new policy. Those can be hard.
I'm happy for you to plug me into any committee that's appropriate for me to be on. And I don't know if I can be on policy committee, but sometimes it seems like it makes sense if I'm on policy committee, especially when things are coming down. Because I feel like I'm the one who has that.
You have your
firsthand
finger on the
knowledge.
pulse.
Yeah,
You're the one who has to tell us. We
I
need
just
to
don't know if we
do
want to be involved in having to read the policies, the whole policy manual every year. If you just would like to be, like, asked your opinion on.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion either.
Right. And if we, I mean, I'm not gonna put pressure on anybody to decide tonight, so I just want you guys to think particularly on policy and strategic planning because we have some time, we have some room to look at this for a month or two, on those two particularly. So I would just ask that everyone think about it. You know, we had thought maybe in given your skill set, policy and strategic planning were probably in your wheelhouse, but I'm not putting any pressure. Like you can think about it and decide which way you want to go. or what you wanna
I'd be happy to be on both of those.
Thank you. But then we would leave you right where we are. Are you gonna stay with strategic planning, Aaron? Okay, then we got enough people on that one.
Okay, and Rhonda, what was your feeling about policy? I guess the question is, are we assigning a chair?
Well, you have Fabian plugged in the chair, so I don't care. I mean, if I need to be the chair on policy, I can, or if Pat, you want to be the chair on policy, and you and I can work, you know, just because I mean, I'm not discounting all the work that Jenny has done, but in terms of being the chair, we need to meet, we need to look at
chair
stuff.
that's good at like remembering to
To schedule things, yeah, and schedule the meeting that we discuss and.
And be the person at the meeting, because I think we just changed the policy that says the chairperson distributes the policy changes to the rest of the board and sort of be in charge of that.
Yeah, the administrative part. So you know, if you would take on the chair on that, and then Fabian's on, and I'm on, and Christy and Rhonda, I think we should be in a good shape. Okay, so let's switch Fabian to a regular member and put Pat as the chair. And then Fabian, do you mind being the chair of the strategic planning? Because I really do feel that that is where your strength is.
Yeah. So
Okay, thank you. All right, and then assessment. We plugged in Rhonda and Mariposa.
You know,
What is assessment?
I don't even
So
know.
assessment, so two assessments that we do, our self-survey.
That's right,
Oh.
And the head
self-survey.
administrator.
And the head
survey. So it's all the
administrator.
same.
Those assessments.
And so Jenny and Connie did it. Do you want to stay on, Connie? Yay! So, and Rhonda, I have the instructions. I have the instructions. Rhonda, I have the instructions. I think Jenny confirmed, because I don't have my notes in front of me, but we need to do a beginning of the year head administrator. Did we already do that? We did the goals, that's right, so then we just mid-year.
November, you'll send out the update the sheets.
Yeah,
You'll send out in November, you send out the forms for the middle of your evaluation, and then December you talk about it, and then May you send them out for end of year, and June you talk
Yeah.
about it, and then in August, the goals are set.
yeah, and I have the templates for the letters that go with, I have they're all in the Dropbox.
Okay.
But and Connie has been on it, and Connie can
Yeah, and
help
Connie and
us
I worked hard on
getting it
getting
together,
it to
yeah.
where it is. So.
Yeah, and we made changes, and so it's in good shape.
Yeah.
All right,
So is Connie sticking on that one?
yep,
Yeah.
Connie's gonna stay on that one. So we got Connie on too, so we're not, you get to stay, yay,
What's the other?
You put you on audit.
on audit,
Yes.
yeah, and that's just, you know, that's,
yeah.
and then Mr. Anderson, would you stay the committee of the onboarding of the new members, the chair?
It's not much of a committee anymore, it's just an activity, but okay.
You and Aaron,
I'll
anyone?
help you with that activity in the new year. We need to get together, drink some beer and go right now.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to be on new member onboarding? No, okay. Academic review committee. Again, Mr. Anderson, would you like to stick around in your role?
Sure, I'm doing such a great job.
You are. You've raised really important issues, so that's good. And then Dominic, are you good with staying on academic review committee?
Yep.
Okay, is there any of the other committees, Dominic, that we've talked about that you feel like you have time or the inclination to get plugged in?
Time is one thing. So is there what other committees? I can't actually see what's on the what's being shared. So what other committees are you guys empty on? I mean, do you guys need, is there help needed anywhere?
Well, I'd like to propose a new committee, a charter renewal committee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is actually a very good idea, Chrissy. So,
I'd be happy to be on it.
um,
I don't know what
so,
Sure.
wait, what does
Because I've been doing the process.
my agenda say?
Why?
3 times probably.
Probably twice at least. And I've been to it a couple times. I'm willing to be on it.
I'm envisioning that this could be the group that really looks at the details and bringing that information back to the board for discussion about whether we authorize with AKCS or the state and that sort of thing over the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to chair that.
Yeah, you have a lot of historical knowledge and.
Does it have to be a board member who's the chair?
No.
Can we make you the chair? Or Danielle or Anna. Yeah, you can be on committees. I mean, any one of the three of you, administrators.
I actually think Laura would be a good one to be on this committee, not that I'm volunteering you for nothing, but just because you're gonna have to bring the financial component.
I'm gonna bring you on.
Okay.
Anna wants to be on the academic committee.
Okay, awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, so Christy, Rhonda, Laura, Aaron on charter renewal? Yes? Thank you. Okay, I was looking at the agenda. That's what I was doing, was to see what we said.
It was an actionable item.
Let's see, action on committee assignments. Just, we can create a new committee, right? Because it's an assignment? Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the creation of a charter renewal committee. Do I have a second? Wait,
Can you hand to speak the chair?
oh,
With
with,
the bylaws real quick,
Why?
is that the one that the president can just form the committee?
Oh, well, see, we have, it's conflicting. In the past, we have been action item for new creation of new committees.
Okay.
but if the bylaws say I can just do it, then
Create a committee.
I don't know.
Create.
Well, it's not a standing committee, it really is an ad hoc committee. Because it's only happens every 5 years,
Right,
once we're done with the
Your purpose
renewal.
is done.
Okay, hold on, we may have changed this, because now I think it actually requires a supermajority. Appointing individuals to committees and delegating authority there too requires a supermajority
Of the board?
of the board.
Okay, so we need to
You have to
then
vote on it.
we need to vote on these assignments
No.
or just the creation of the committee?
We need to vote on the assignments, appointing individuals to committees, we have to vote on. Yeah, I thought it used to be a,
Where are you finding that?
okay,
What page are you on?
look at, 5,
What page are you on?
it is 9.
Because I'm looking at.
Are you in the Dropbox or are you on the website?
I'm in the Dropbox.
Okay. Just,
And you're in bylaws April 2023?
Yep.
Just making sure we're on the same.
That's a good
Right.
place.
We changed it so we make it easier.
Yeah. But see, I think we didn't change it here, but we changed it somewhere else. Because then if we go down to committees of governing council. We might just have a discrepancy in our bylaws because in the ad hoc committee selection and membership, the governing council has authority to create ad hoc committees as deemed necessary. The policies and procedures that govern the ad hoc committees will be determined as specified by the governing council action creating approving the existence of any such committees.
Okay, so then we do need to approve.
And members of each committee may be chosen by the governing council president until such a time. So I mean, I guess we could go with the more specific over the general, because the general just said committee, not specifically says ad hoc committee.
Well, why don't we just be overly cautious? And I'll just make the motion.
Put a pin in it for the policy committee.
I already wrote it down. I put committee,
Resolve that discrepancy.
appointment and creation. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to approve the committee assignments that we just discussed and to create an ad hoc charter renewal committee with the appointments as indicated, with Christy being the chair and Rhonda, Laura, and Aaron being members. I think that works.
Second.
Aaron seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Yay. Okay, so that was committee assignments. We're trucking along tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, declaration and signing of code of conflict of interest statements for the current governing members. I believe Laura has she had everyone sign?
No, that's the thing that everyone has to sign individually.
Okay.
Do you remember that you had to
Oh,
print?
I was gonna print and I didn't print.
Christy, can I send you something?
Yes, email it to me, I'll print it.
Yes, if you can print it real quick. I'm sorry. It was on my desk. Everything, I got it organized. I had my notes, I had my bylaws, I had everything.
Hey, this is the one that we signed last time as well, individually, some individuals, or is this a different one?
This is a once a year to remind you of your actual code of ethics as a member of our specific governing council. And it's got whatever letter I comes 10. And that you certify that you read and understand the code of ethics. I think it's part of the onboarding document. Did I send it?
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's something that we haven't already. I can't remember what we signed last time, but we haven't signed it. We all need to sign it.
I did at the annual meeting a year ago as well. And we each individually signed one. So Dominic, I'll email you yours. I'll email you yours so you can sign it and send it back to Laura.
Okay.
And then I'll sign ours this evening, but I think the motion, do we need to wait till they print?
I don't think we just have to.
I just have to declare.
I don't know, it's a declaration and actual action. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it like open meetings. So, with regard to agenda item number E, I, as president of the governing board, declare that council members have been provided the AKCS code of conduct, conflict of interest statement for review and signature, and those signatures will be collected in the next 2 days, if not this evening. Anyone think I need to add anything else? Okay, very good. All right, this is our last big thing for the night, because the last one's mostly me and Christy, but I'll just talk about it real quick. So discussion and action regarding aggregate asset capitalization threshold amount. Rhonda and Laura, you are going to do a much better job of this than I will. So take it away, ladies. Ask me for how many questions I ask.
The guidance used to be that if you had an item that was $5,000 or more, you would capitalize it. But in July, when we had our audit entrance conference, there's been amended guidance that says if you have an aggregate of similar assets and they're above a certain threshold, then you have to capitalize it. And so it's kind of like, well, we need to talk about what is that threshold, because should we really be capitalizing Chromebooks when they only last about 2 to 3 years? Yeah.
And we buy them in bulk, and so the way I understood the issue, and Rhonda, please help, somebody throw something at me if I'm wrong. The way I understand it is, if we buy $50,000 of $250 Chromebooks, if we don't declare a threshold amount, we're gonna have to capitalize every individual $250 Chromebook.
Right.
So if we buy something in bulk, we need to have a threshold amount that says we will not capitalize until we hit this amount or above.
And this is
Per
only
item or per aggregate?
Per aggregate, and it's a time frame on the aggregate too, so we can choose the time frame to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever. So what we talked about as a group of the audit committee, and with Rhonda's assistance and Laura and Chrissy's, but Jason was involved. So what we had talked about based on our financials, based on our spending habits and our purchasing and what we need to buy, that we thought collectively, and this was mostly Jason's recommendation after all of our discussions that we had, was that we thought the appropriate threshold was about $50,000. That, you know, we could go up higher. There's been recommendations of up to 175 from the audit. No,
Well, so they changed their mind.
they did good.
Yeah.
I was like, where are they getting 175,000? Because that doesn't make any sense to me.
The DFA is recommending 250,000, but because we're smaller, this, you know, just the expenditures that we have in comparison, we thought maybe 150. When we talked to the auditor, he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. No one has a policy anyway. Really, that's kind of what he said. And then so I sent him some of the policies I had, and he sent it back saying that maybe to go lower than the 150, that just doesn't seem reasonable for schools our size.
So Jason and I, you know, when we all collectively talked about this, we kind of were looking at 50 to 100,000, you know, based on what you guys have been looking at now and working so hard on the audit. Where do you think we should land?
So,
Laura, give us the example that we talked about the Chromebooks that we purchased a few years back.
yeah, so a few years back, for example, we purchased 200 Chromebooks, and that was about $30,000.
It was 60.
60,000. And that's just for 200. It looks like way back, we bought maybe about 500 to start back in 2021. And I actually went back 5 years in financials and started to look at the aggregate amounts. And in 2021, we were at almost $57,000 just
What did
on
we do with that?
student technology.
Expensed it? We didn't capitalize it?
No, because you're not required to capitalize unless it's one item, like a server that costs $5,000.
Right, not everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So your capitalization, is that just a depreciation?
Yes.
So, you know, based on that, I'm kind of leaning towards splitting the baby and say 75,000 is probably a good aggregate threshold. And we also talked about the time frame, and based on our spending, we think that annually, $75,000, the aggregate threshold would be $75,000 annually, so that we didn't have to track it. For fiscal year, yeah, fiscal year. And so what we need to do in order to proceed is we don't actually have to pass a policy or a resolution on this today. We just need to make a motion about that we, you know, I'll make the motion or someone else can, but we need to make a motion that the capitalization aggregate threshold is $75,000 per fiscal year. And that's all we need to do is have it in the minutes. So that then Laura can go forth and do a procedure if she needs to.
Sounds good.
So if we're there, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Dominic, did you get that written down?
Yeah, I've got, you've made a motion to make the aggregate asset capitalization threshold 75K
Per fiscal year.
and per fiscal year, and Aaron was seconded that.
Yes, sir. Perfect. All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Christy and I will start working on it. I just kind of wanted to let everybody know, one of the things that we've got to get on our governing council webpage is the link to the YouTube channel. And then there's some other reorganization things I thought of as with Connie and Pat and as Pat and Jenny and I were meeting to kind of go through some stuff. So I'll work with Christy on that. But the biggest piece is the right away. We need to get the YouTube channel link on the governing board page.
Actually, do you want it like towards the top or?
Yeah, I would put it at the top.
Okay.
And then I kind of also want to reorganize where our sunshine portal is. It's kind of in the middle of the page because we've had some questions about whether we had it or not, since it's kind of down
Yeah,
further.
it used to.
And so I would, maybe if there's a way that they could do it, my suggestion, and if anyone has any other suggestions, would be to put, watch governing council meetings and have something to click to the YouTube channel, and then have something that says AKCS Sunshine Portal, and have those be prominent on the page at the top, and then we can reorganize from there. But those two items, I think we need to get on there and up,
And I think there's a lot that can be archived.
Yeah, I think we can archive.
Stuff.
The archiving is a huge undertaking. It's not simple, which is why it hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Marcia was helping with that, before she took over the makerspace position. It is hours and hours and hours and hours of it. I don't know why, if it's because this platform is not user friendly for this type of thing. And so what we've had to do in the past is literally go in and print everything, every page, and some of these financial documents are like 27 pages long. We have to scan it all in as a set and then do it as a single document.
Well, one thought, I just did this recently in my day job, because of similar issues. And I don't know if it can happen, but they could do it on theirs. We basically took the live existing page and made it the archive page, and then condensed and started with a new main page. And so there's nothing had to actually get moved. We just created a new main page and then linked the old page to an archive. And then, so this one stayed the way that it was as the archive with all the live links in it. And then we just had a new main page, because that we couldn't get around it any
That's a
other
good
way.
idea, actually.
I have no idea if our system will work.
I think I can do that pretty easily, actually.
Yeah.
I never even thought to do it that way.
And space is not an issue with web-based, it's posted, right?
Yeah. And so that might be a solution to make it simpler.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Okay, all right, let me think on that.
And but I haven't been chairperson of the executive committee for a while.
Yeah, so we just need to update.
Yeah, and I usually rely on you all to tell me
Yeah.
into what.
No,
you
absolutely, this is not a criticism,
No,
it's only
I don't
because,
see it as a criticism, so what I'll do
Yeah.
based on these new committee assignments, if somebody can share that document with me,
It's
I'll
in the
also clean
Dropbox.
up this here, okay?
In the Dropbox under the committees folder.
So, Monica, so let me just make notes of all of this so I can get it taken care of. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add the YouTube.
yep, like access, access meetings here with the YouTube channel link on this page.
Move the Sunshine Portal link to the top.
Yep, both of those at the top, and then just kind of clean up. Those were the two big
And
things.
then update committees.
Yeah, you'll have to update the.
Governing council,
And the council list too.
And put on the list.
Fabian is a parent.
And archive
See
the
what you
old meetings. Okay,
We need to find some parent members.
Yeah, we do need to.
happy to do all of that.
Yes. So anybody knows any educator friends, anybody knows any parents? I know you guys know the parents, administration, teachers, maybe remind the teachers if you've got a good parent that you might want to recommend, send them to Pat. See if we can get a couple other people on board with us. All right, seeing as there is no further business to come before the board this evening, I move that we adjourn at 7:47. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. All right, let's go home. Thank you, Dominic.
Don't forget to sign your page. I gotta go.
Yes, you gotta go get our papers. Nobody leave yet.
Thank you.
I'm going to Chili's to get
I'm
something
gonna-
to eat.
Hey,